Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot. And this is going to be a channeled message into the 666 portal gateway taking place tomorrow on Monday the 6th. I really did plan on getting a bunch of zodiac messages recorded while I was away this weekend. I was not able to get very much accomplished other than channeling a lot of the very intense energies that have been coming through, and the 666 portal gateway was a big one. I was shown a couple of very important energies in my third eye when it comes to the tarot that we're going to jump into and talk about. The Nine of Swords kept coming up. The Nine of Swords. Where did I put those other cards? There we go. We got the Unfinished Symphony that I kept being shown throughout the weekend, along with the Chaos and Conflict. So this is a lot of collective energies taking place, not only for the Twin Flame Collective, but this is for anybody on the awakening journey. And this is ultimately where we're headed, to peace. But I want to talk about the number 666 because oftentimes it's represented as this very evil number. It's been known to be called the mark of the beast. Whenever we see the number 666, many of us think like bad luck is coming or it's a bad omen. And I was working very closely this weekend. I meditated a lot. I spent a lot of time by the water, and I was working very closely with many of the Ascended Masters. A lot of my guardian angels were very close when it comes to bringing forward this guidance for all of us on the spiritual path. So I did a lot of writing this weekend. And so the message that coming through is our guides, our ancestors, our crossed over loved ones, and all of the Ascended Masters, they want to see every single one of us happy, healthy, and successful. So the big message that keeps coming through is something needs to change. 6 is always the journey to balance and harmony. 666 is put on our pathway in order to get us back on our true path. It's all about closing out all of these cycles, taking that closer look at our inner self, and finding our determination to change what needs to change in order to bring in that abundance of good karma that is waiting for all of us on the other side of this spiritual transformation. So we don't want to miss out on this very powerful, unique astrological opportunity for the 666 portal gateway. I think big questions we all need to be asking ourselves is, are we clear about our purpose? Are you tired of spinning the wheels and constantly getting nowhere in your life? And no matter how much effort you put into your life, does it feel like the universe keeps winding you backwards, bringing all this frustration to the surface? And frustration is just like the low end of how irritating it can be to feel like you're just constantly on this hamster wheel in life. So there's a reason, there's always a reason why you keep cycling into these patterns and you can't get where you want to go. And so I feel there's this big cosmic energy screaming at the collective saying, hey, you're out of sync, you're out of alignment. It's time to come back into astral configuration. It's time to, have that karmic pathway activated and step into your true karmic north node this lifetime. And so until you can find that alignment of self, we're going to constantly be feeling this resistance to this transformation on the journey. So if you keep feeling this resistance, I think it's time to flip that side of the coin over. And we all have the blueprint. We all have the soul map inside of us to reclaim this state of alignment. But we have to be willing to release anything that has kept us restricted. And so we have to also be willing to define our purpose and to step into our highest potential. And that requires going into those South Node habits in order to reveal all of these past life talents and gifts and spiritual strengths that we brought over this life to shift. And many of us don't even realize the gifts that we have laying below the surface because we keep spinning our wheels going in the wrong direction. So I feel we're entering into a very significant portal tomorrow, and we need to kind of break down all of these components in our life that are no longer working if we're to find that refocus in our life. So I think the number 6 in itself is all about responsibility and the number of balance. You think of the number 6. We get the Lovers as a 6 card. The Devil also breaks down to a 6. So we're being asked to break free from these trauma bond relationships, from these codependent, toxic relationships, and to choose harmony with a divine counterpart. You think of the 6 card. I also think of the 6 of Pentacles. It's time to stop giving to more than one. It's time to really invest in these solid relationships moving forward. So the number 6 is all about responsibility. I also link the number 6 to the Jesus code. So it is about stepping into Christ consciousness, stepping into living a life of compassion. When we double up the 6, it means it's time to really concentrate on our family life, our home life, our domestic life. And then when we combine 666 together, the energies are asking us to find that balance between the home and all of the rest of our life. And 666 also breaks down to the number 9, which indicates completion, the closing of a cycle. And that's what we're being asked. We're being asked to figure out what in our life is not in balance. And the angels, I feel, are warning us that we need to discover what this is, and we need to set things right again. There's been a lot of karma playing out in the energies recently. And so we're kind of being asked to stay in these higher vibrations, to embrace this state of harmony, and to inherit all of these 6s to close out a major cycle. So it's about bringing harmony into our lives. And when it comes to the twin flame journey itself, I think we're being asked to stop being so concerned with that external twin flame and to put all of our anxieties and our rest to worry. Whatever's been bothering us, I think the energy is a big wake up, a big reminder to surrender and to get your current life and your relationship with yourself in balance and in check. So your twin flame can hear the call to take that action. So I think when it comes to love, we're all being asked to re-examine our intimate relationships and to bring back into balance where there's not been that equal giving and receiving, where there's not been that equal give and take between you and another person. Are you codependent? Are you encouraging a codependency within a relationship? Because in order to have true love in your life, you're going to have that true balance for any relationship to kind of work. So I feel the energy is indicating it's time to give up these karmic relationships. If it's not working, it's not ever going to work. It's kind of time to cut those cords and to walk away. If you really want balance in your life, we're all being asked to give up what's no longer serving us. This includes toxic people, bad habits, any addictions, careers that are no longer working. And once we are willing to surrender and release everything that's not working in our lives, that's when all of these newfound connections can come in. And that's when we can really achieve this state of inner peace that we all desire, that we all kind of deserve. So I think one of the most important messages behind the 666 portal gateway is be aware of your thoughts, specifically the ones that carry the vibration of worry, fear, anxiety, and being too focused on monetary issues like finances or buying things thinking, hey, this is going to make me happy. How many people go to retail therapy and think if I buy myself something, I'm going to be happy? But it's a temporary high. It's not a long-term fix. So I think sometimes we get caught up in all of these negative situations, all of these negative influences, and it can be very challenging to stay in that high frequency vibration. And so if you catch yourself in this thought process of thinking the worst, always expecting the worst, then your energy carries this vibration, it sends it out there, and then you manifest all of these worst case scenarios. So the universe is always going to send us back the thoughts that we send out there. So I think we're all being asked to change our focus, to think of the things that we do want, to stop focusing on the things that we don't want, because then we're going to keep manifesting that negative cycle over and over again. And I think we're all being asked to really sit with ourselves and to ask the angels, to ask the universe, to ask God's source energy, please expose my fears. Please help me find a solution, because everything you ever dreamed of is on the other side of facing that deep, dark fear on the inside. And so when we give in to all of these fears, all of these negative thought processes, rather than, allowing the divine to take over, then we're giving into our ego, and then we're really not living in our highest truth, which truly is unconditional love and peace. So I think we're all being asked to get back into the flow, back into the alignment of our mind, our body, and our spirit. And I think get ready to get knocked out of your comfort zone if you find yourself way off track in the energies, because we cannot keep living in worry. We cannot keep living in fear. And we cannot keep putting up this barrier to receiving our blessings, because the universe wants to bring in this unlimited abundance, these blessings into our lives. But when we have all of these opposing thought processes taking over, then it's really hard to have that trust. So I think shift your feelings towards love, peace, and harmony, and get back in the flow is another message. So we're all being asked to kind of realign our thoughts. And it is a process as we go through this raising of our vibration and shifting our thoughts into more positive outcomes. It's a practice. It's a daily practice. It takes time. And so this is where all of the signs and the synchronicities will appear on the journey and nudge us from the universe to keep going, keep having faith, and trust that your financial needs are always going to be met when you step into that true north node, that karmic pathway this lifetime. And so I know it's easier said than done to change the way you think. I've gone through the reprogramming of the thought process, and I've gone through the dark night of the soul, a very deep, dark evaluation. Dark night of the soul is like this deep, deep depression, soul suppression of understanding these patterns, going into the past life karma and shifting thought. And it's very difficult to go through that transformative energy. But, you know, when we're in the dark night of the soul, we have tools to shift our process. We can go for a walk. We can go sit by the water or do that water therapy, baths and showers, you know, ground the energy in nature, exercise, meditation. And meditation is how we shift that thought process. We learn how to quiet the mind. I used a lot of music to get me through the dark night of the soul. And then you can always shift a negative thought into what am I grateful for today? Or, you know, doing something nice for somebody else, because everything we put out there always comes back. And I do want to reiterate, the universe is always, always, always supporting us. But we first have to ask for help, and then we have to be we have to be willing to listen to the messages we receive, and we have to be willing to pay attention to all of the little signs and the clues that our guides leave for us along the journey. So we have to learn to trust our intuition, and to do that, we kind of do have to open up the heart in order to be open to receiving the messages and the miracles and all of the wonderful things that the universe and life is trying to bring forward for all of us, because we all do truly deserve that. So I do feel with the astrology aspects, it's very intense. This energy kept coming up like crazy. So I do feel like it's this energy of being in a dark room in your thoughts, in your mind, playing into all of these anxieties. And I feel when we paint this mental landscape of worry, fear, anxiety, then we create all kinds of tension and chaos and conflict in our lives. So, you know, our conscious mind is constructed of this maze of this ego entrapment is another big message. And it can be a nightmare to go into the depths of the labyrinth of the subconscious mind. But this is where we return to a state of innocence. And so I feel there's definitely this channeling energy when it comes to all of this negative energy directed at the crown and how we perceive our lives, and shifting the energy upward and outward for this release of this stress and this anxiety. So I also feel there's like a lot of obsessive tendencies going on with many in the psyche as we go through this portal gateway, and we can't keep playing into this bleakness. We cannot keep avoiding, though, going into the depths of the shadows. So I do feel there's somebody here in a very overactive imagination, likely somebody with heavy Gemini or a Mars in Gemini placement, whose mental processing has definitely been preoccupied by a lot of conflict and a lot of struggle. And it's kind of time to release the struggle to get back into peace. Another energy that really stood out in my third eye was the chaos and conflict. So, and I can see it just scrolling social media. And this is why I kind of deactivated social media, because I didn't want to play into the negativity and all of the disarray that's kind of shown all over social media. So there's a lot of disarray taking place in the collective right now. There's a lot of tension of opposites and of opposing forces. And there's a lot of chaos, but we kind of have to add value to the chaos before we can return to a state of order on the journey. So there's a lot of opposing forces working together with these cosmic energies to create this very destructive, turbulent atmosphere. And the chaos will all serve us well on the journey, because none of us embrace transformation and change without the disarray and the chaos and the conflict. So, you know, without the conflict, we're never going to move out of that comfort zone. So I do feel a lot of scattered thoughts when it comes to all of these repressed hidden parts of ourselves. What no longer serves us, what no longer we need, kind of has to be dispersed through this breakdown of the mind in order to reinvent ourselves. And that's what we're doing. We're deconstructing everything that doesn't work. We're reinventing ourselves anew into our purest authentic form. And so what appears to be a lot of conflicting chaos, it's there to exist externally in order for you to break free from this disarray on the inside. So any outward disarray is a reflection of this cross-purpose energy on the inside, this conflicting energy on the inside. And so I feel many in the collective are facing these emotional storms that can no longer kind of be controlled. And we do need to remember, every storm passes, everything passes. So we're being asked to sit with this chaos while the divine kind of restructures and reorders a lot within the collective right now. And conflict always brings forward a level of positivity, because conflict gets us to break free from this sheltering comfort zone and to kind of step away from all of the fray. So I do feel somebody here is extremely stubborn when it comes to wanting to create opposition in their life. Someone's in a very stubborn state of needing to incessantly be right. And do you want to be right? Or do you want to be happy? Because, you know, it's not about being right. And this conflict deep down inside is saying, hey, it's time to resolve this. And I feel this portal gateway is going to be an opportune time for many of us to relearn what our true values are, especially with the North Node in Taurus. We're all restructuring our traditions, our values. What do we value? What do we want to build in our lives? What do we want to birth when it comes to our sense of self-worth? What's really important to you? Do you want to fight to be right? Or do you just want to walk away and be happy? Because I feel, you know, some things in life are just non-negotiable. So it's not always necessary to fight. If you find yourself always fighting your way through these stormy emotions, wanting to be right, maybe it's time to get to some higher ground, to get to a better place. Because I do feel many are being like initiated into their path of growth, and many are receiving this big wake-up call as we step into this massive collective enlightenment for the future. And so there's always a better way than doing it the way we have before. So whatever appears to be chaotic, I think the truth is the universe is shaking everything up, everything down to the ground that was built on false pretenses, in order for us all to find our real path towards self-worth and true prosperity. So yes, it's a very stormy time for the collective, but this is where we step into our divine purpose. This is where we honor our truest parts of ourselves, and we trust that the ultimate blessing on the other side is unlimited abundance. Because when you come into alignment with knowing your worth and your value, the divine brings forward all of this new inspiration, and all of these new blessings will appear on your path. So I feel it's kind of time to take advantage of the chaos in order to restore order in our lives, to recognize what we can no longer negotiate when it comes to our morals and our values, and to really follow that true compass of the heart if we want to step into peace. Because many in the collective have some unfinished karma here, some unfinished business, and over the next several months, with Saturn in retrograde, it's time to learn these incomplete lessons once and for all. So where there's been a lack of closure, it's time to make amends is another big message. It's time to tie up everything that was left open and ended. It's time to tie up these loose ends, because we are completing these karmic cycles. We are stepping into mastery. But before you can move forward, you have to come to terms with some unfinished business first and foremost. And radical acceptance is what is needed, especially when it comes to these divine counterpart unions. So I feel many of us have been taking this deep emotional inventory of, where we need that psychological closure in our lives. Where do we need to have that ending, those answers come through so we can finally move forward? We cannot leave anything unfinished from the past if we are to step into this new cycle with that 0 day karma at that 0 point. So I think we're all at this moment where we're reflecting on everything that is past within all of our life, our relationships, and what needs to finally end so we can step into these new higher timelines and fully ground these new earth energies. So we all know how hard it is to move on. Goodbye is never easy. Endings are never easy. Feelings of love linger. Things sometimes will feel like they've been left unsaid. And when we haven't had that opportunity for closure, when it comes to these very important relationships that are in our heart, we can feel this energy of being bound to something, toxically bound to something, especially when closure has been denied us. And so it's important, though, that we achieve this closure internally for ourselves, whether it's writing a letter, making that call, or having that conversation, maybe over a cup of coffee. It really is time for us to make amends for anybody we have wronged, or vice versa. Maybe it's time to finally declare those feelings that you've been repressing when it comes to being in love with somebody. Whatever's been unresolved or unclear, I feel now is the time for that closure to come full circle. So I think in order to start these new cycles, we have to complete the old first. And when we have unfinished business, it casts a shadow over our lives, and it creates a state of suppression, oppression, and depression. And it's a reminder that procrastination in any shape or form is basically self-deception and self-sabotage. So it's never in our best interest to stall what we need to deal with, because you're going to keep reaching stumbling blocks, and you're going to be keep being held back, and you're going to keep overthinking things, getting distracted. And so I feel now it's time to finish things up. Spirit saying it's time to kind of square things up in the energies. If we really want to have peace in our lives, it's kind of time to cross that threshold and to do the right thing. But let's get a couple more cards when it comes to this 666 portal gateway. Yeah, soul alignment, deepening that relationship to yourself, and igniting your passions. For those that I did chit chat this weekend with, a couple of my divine feminine friends, we've all been just going within, really focused on self, really integrating all of these frequency light code activations, and really going within when it comes to our purpose at this time, and trying to figure out how to reignite our passions. So there's a lot kind of being realigned in the energies is what I'm feeling. So we're going to get 3 cards with the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck. We're just going to get a quick few messages. And you're going to want to tune in for the forecast for the week ahead tomorrow. And there's that signs and synchronicities, energy cords, empowerment. Many of us are being activated when it comes to our light working mission, our starseed mission. And so as we go through this activation, we become acutely aware of just how powerful we are as a light being on earth. And we are here to shine this healing light on humanity. So there's the signs and the syncs. So trust, when you're in the flow, the signs are going to be there. The signs are going to, be communicating with you through these numbers. And when you understand frequencies 1 through 9, I'm highly, I highly encourage focusing on understanding numerologically the vibrations that each of these numbers hold. And then you can really easily have a conversation with your guides anywhere you go when these number things kind of jump out, because there's always a deeper meaning. And there's that cutting of the energy cords. We're all being asked to clear our energy aura, to clear all of these old memories, these past life memories, these unhealthy people, unhealthy energies, because we are in this massive portal for this release and this renewal as we all kind of step into self-empowerment. So beautiful energies. We're all being asked to take ownership of our lives once and for all, to make amends, to execute, closing out these cycles so we can all step into our highest potential. So it's going to require going in the right direction, maybe taking a leap, and going and making amends, no matter how hard that might be. Because until we make peace with the past once and for all, we're going to be meeting all of these roadblocks, all of these challenges, and we need to recognize where we've neglected taking ownership for something if we really want to step into self-empowerment and self-development. Yeah, we cannot keep holding on to these karmic soul contracts that were only meant to come in temporarily to teach us a lesson. So, these karmic contracts, the universe has a plan, and they're getting blasted out of the waters, and we're shifting out of this lack mentality, stepping into unlimited abundance. Big changes are coming. It's like, ready or not, here I come. These changes are coming because we're closing out these cycles. And we're taking that risk to take back our power. So I feel major endings recently, because somebody's been holding on to a connection, reliving the past, and maybe you just can't get it back. It's kind of time to get out of the darkness and to kind of step into the light. We got to stop reliving the past. So I do feel with the marriage card, it is about stepping into these high-level commitments, honoring our spirituality, and dealing with any past regret. There is going to be a fresh start here with somebody that I feel really messed up in the past. They really messed up big time, because this was likely what was divinely ordained for somebody. This is your spiritual husband, your spiritual wife. And I do feel we have all been very patiently waiting for the tides to turn, for this karmic rebalancing. So I do feel a divine masculine that is definitely wanting to come in and fix something that's broken. There's somebody here wanting that fresh start, but there is a need to step into empowerment. And I think somebody's really going to need that compassion when they come forward with that deep emotional intimacy, because I do feel an underlying fear when it comes to all of this past regret. And regret, shame, guilt, and remorse, the only way to fix that is to own it and to come forward with that conversation. Because when we stay in these low vibrations of guilt, regret, remorse, and shame, we keep manifesting all of these challenges in our life in order to get us to face what's been below the surface. If you want that fresh start, it's really time to make amends and to fix what's broken. So let's get a couple of tarot. 8 of Cups. Yeah, and what do you need to walk away from? Oh, Alexa just started talking to me. That was weird. We got the 8 of Cups and the 2 of Cups reversed. So there is a need to walk away from a connection where it's just not in harmony anymore. You're not on the same page. Maybe at one point in time you thought this was your 10 of Cups, but I think it was a past life connection to teach you a karmic lesson about these unhealthy childhood patterns. And I feel somebody here is really walking the walk of shame when it comes to leaving a connection behind and coming towards an Empress. Somebody's definitely gone through a major activation, a big wake-up call with the Tower reverse with the Empress. I think somebody's finally realizing, oh my God, I walked away from my person. And it is this big coming to Jesus moment, the 666, coming to Jesus, going through this judgment energy of needing to face, everybody that you've wronged. And this Empress is about to reap her harvest. The Tower reversed is something is definitely dying away. You're not going to be able to rebuild. There's, somebody's had somebody entrapped in a connection, tied up in a connection, maybe preventing somebody from walking away when it's not working. Why fight? Why not just walk away and be happy is another message. But there's definitely this feeling of a walk of shame towards the Empress. And I think this Empress isn't going to see this apology coming. I think she's just minding her own business, enjoying the fruits of her labor, living a good life. She's not focused on anybody but herself, her children, her family, her abundance. And there's a shakeup when it comes to maybe somebody not choosing this Empress. Definitely could be dealing with a Pisces or a Taurus Libra. But there's a karmic soul contract coming to a close, an entrapped contract that somebody has either been unwilling to walk away from or has not been able to walk away from it due to some karmic debt needing to be played out. But there is going to be an opportunity to work together with this Empress And somebody is coming in with an offer that I feel has been withheld. And I feel somebody's thought about this for a long time. And they've held this Empress tight inside their chest, close to their chest. And these seeds were definitely planted a long, long time ago. And somebody's really looking to gather their strength up here when it comes to bringing forward some truth for that marriage, for that higher level of commitment with the Hierophant. So there's that Chiron energy too. So it is like this crowning, this anointing energy when it comes to somebody's mission, somebody's life path, and they've been facing challenges. Look at those mountains in the background. There's been an energy of, you know, a lack of balance, a lack of justice, and somebody is sitting in a lot of truth, coming in saying, hey, I made it through the war zone and now I'm ready to sign that higher contract. He's holding some scrolls. So this is a divinely ordained union coming through. More Taurus energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So let's see what else the cards have to say. There's going to be movement here, Chariot, and maybe it won't be until Cancer season because 7-7 has been a number really standing out a lot for me too, and 7-11. So it might not be till Cancer season, but there is movement here, there is victory here, and we are closing out these big, big karmic cycles for sure. The death to the old in order to bring in the new. So Scorpio energy, could be dealing with a Scorpio. So profound life transformation. Somebody's in the throes of this ego death energy when it comes to laying down a burden with these toxic cycles with the devil. So it's like codependencies, addictions, whatever you've been chained to, materialism, greed, and a death to the old, closing out all of these past life karmic timelines, and finally consciously releasing that burden. And I do feel by that full moon, there's likely going to be a big offer of love coming forward. Holy Grail love. Look at how big that freaking cup is. And she's like naked. Look at all of those emotions. This is an authentic offer that I feel has been hidden for quite some time. Because, yeah, somebody's coming in to face their equal, that Queen of Swords. And there is going to be victory. But I think this Queen of Swords has poured out that cup of love. And likely it's going to be hard to, you know, break down those barriers because she's hurt. And I feel, you know, it's not about the feelings. It's about the truth now. It's not about the feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I want the truth. So it's definitely, you know, the crossroads. The doorway opportunity is now when it comes to bringing forward these divine counterpart unions. And it's going to require a masculine bossing up and getting ready to do the work once and for all. After a period of, I think, silence, going through transformation. There's without a doubt a rebalancing here. Could be with an Aries, doesn't have to be. But somebody really is gathering all of their strength when it comes to learning a valuable karmic lesson. And I talked about that Saturn energy. It's double the karma, double the fun, double the dharma. So everything is working out according to divine plan. And this is two becoming one. So the union of the twin souls. And there is going to be a rebalancing when it comes to all of the lying, the thieving, the cheating, the grieving in order for healing. So it's this beautiful uncaging energy, I feel. So do get ready to receive a message very soon. Maybe somebody that's left you out in the cold. Maybe a couple of people that left you out in the cold for some third-party energy. It's kind of time to go deep into our emotions to move forward. If we want to step into fortune and everything that was promised to us, we're going to have to rebalance whatever was unfair when it comes to any past manipulation. So let's get a couple last closing messages with the Crystal Stone deck. Muscovite, Serpentine, there's that Kundalini activation when it comes to awakening the reptilian DNA and clearing the reptilian DNA for this great awakening. So it's like a spiritual exfoliation, which is taking place on the 666 portal, releasing any reptilian natures, activating the Kundalini energy in order to activate the spiritual self. So it's this very powerful, concentrated, circulating energy being activated from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, because it's time. It's really time for us as a collective to release all of these tired beliefs, all of this very stuck energy, The serpentine energy, the snake energy arrives exactly at the right time. So it's really this invitation for all of us to rip that proverbial band-aid off and to regroup and to release all of this lingering drama in order to come into alignment, because we're activating third eye energy, our supernatural synchronistic gifts. We're developing our third eye foresight, and we're releasing all of this pragmatic, unreasonable energy. And I think many are going to be hit with some very explosive takedowns, and everybody's going to be like, oh my God, how did I not see that coming? So it's really time to develop that foresight. Many of us are coming into our gifts of being able to peer into the future when it comes to these 5D timeline shifts. And so we kind of got to step into being that believer. We got to stop missing the signs, guys. And I think somebody's about to get their lid blown off when it comes to an awakening of some sort. So energize your whole world is the message. Feel all of your feels. Take care of your heart. Make your big dreams your big life. So who needs to release like this energy of feeling like you're surrounded by all of these old ideas? It's time to pack up these old ideas, because many of us are channels, but we have to clear these blockages between all of these channels of communication in order for the messages to come through with clarity, renewed, so we can move on. So my ear is ringing right now. So clairaudiency gifts are also being activated. So a lot of spiritual sensations are being delivered collectively to those that chose to awaken this life. And many will benefit from this burning away energy, because it's kind of time to get moving when it comes to these new earth relationships. And it really is time to heal the heart. So where have you been overly self-critical is another message. We are all sentient, energetic, spiritual beings. And so at the core, we all do love very, very deeply. And I do feel many of us are stepping into the healing arts, creating those sacred spaces on the spiritual journey. And we're all being asked to hold ourselves and to bring loving kindness into the collective. So we don't always have to be the one to have it figured out or to do it all our own. We don't always have to be the one to work the hardest. Sometimes when we overwork too hard, then we do delay our blessings, because we're putting out, and we're not ready to receive. So I feel we're all opening up the doorway to spirit when it comes to stepping into our own manifesting capabilities. So Libra, release the chronic indecision, make a choice and go in the right direction, because these powerful energies are shifting us drastically when it comes to being unearthed, when it comes to shattering all of this mental chatter. And it's like this deadline energy when it comes to decision time. So trust that everything is going to be amazing, but we got to keep putting one foot in front of the other, guys. That's what I got for a check-in for the 666 Portal Gateway. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the Twin Flame forecast for the week ahead. And I will be working on the rest of the zodiacs this week. Stay tuned, be patient, and I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Thank you.